Hello, cookbook friends, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about some cool cookbooks that I found at the library. I'm very excited. I got Joyful, finally. I've been waiting for it. Saffron Tales is a classic. It's a really, really great cookbook. I have Yasmin Khan's other cookbook. I'm trying to remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I can't remember. Fruitful, we might do a small flip through, but it's a book that you need to pre-order. But we have a ton of really cool cookbooks. Then, of course, the sun comes out and I'm getting blasted. Anyway, so if you are interested in any of these cookbooks, make sure to come join us here on Amazon, because you'll see a really cool banner, or you'll see a carousel which has all of our awesome cookbooks that I'm featuring. It's easier to click through, that sort of thing. The first thing I want to share with you today before we begin, just so we can wait and warm up, get people in the live stream, I'm just going to talk about a few of the tech things that I have here. So my Elgato Facecam, awesome camera. I love my camera. And then on sale today, so if you are a techie person, if you're trying to look into like doing video, live streaming, that sort of thing, we do have ring lights on sale on Amazon right now. This is $23.99 total. And it actually comes with a phone stand in the ring light itself, so it's really easy to actually stream. You don't need a fancy camera or anything. You can use your fancy phone, because most of us have really great phones now. So I highly recommend it. I have two of them and they're really handy, especially if you're on the go. That's another thing. And then lastly, I have a Blue Yeti. That's my other tech thing. It's $99.99 right now. So if you do any sort of music, podcasting, live streaming, again, having a cool mic, something really crisp, is really important, and it's really easy to adjust. And you only need, if you have a group of people, you only need one of these mics, so you can split it up. All right, so the first cookbook I want to share with you today is going to be Joyful, because I'm super pumped about it, and it's on sale for 43% off, which is quite a deal since this came out, I think, a couple months ago, not that long, 2003. So this is by Mrs. Shetty. So a lot of people know about, oh gosh, I can't remember his first name now. I just remember Shetty. Anyway, so his wife has a really awesome cookbook. This is all plant-based. I love it. There are over 125 plant-based recipes here. It's a very vibrant and very colorful cookbook. It's so much fun. We'll go into this together in detail. Don't worry. I won't just flip through it. So if you are trying to go plant-based, this is a really cool cookbook to start with. Here's our table of contents. So Ayurveda, really awesome Indian dietary, spiritual method. Highly recommend looking into it, but I think she does Ayurvedic stuff, but you can learn more about that. But here are the recipes. We have hero veg, sun to moon soups, awakening the fire, breakfast, grounding grains, lots of cool stuff. So let's get into the actual dishes. The introduction you can read yourself. It's really cool. I love her voice. She is really fun and approachable. So here we have masala chai. I want to just make my own chai. I need to do it. It's probably cheaper. Here we have different kinds of tea. Look at this beautiful photo here of all of the different teas, and everything is labeled. So this is a calm tea. So it's using chamomile and star anise. This really cool blue one is lavender and blue matcha. What? I wish I knew about that earlier. Unwind is cherry and rose. Here are all of the different ingredients to make that all of yourself. So let's move on to something else. We have loaded toast 4 ways. I love that it's not just one recipe for one page. She packs everything in. So there's so many different ways to utilize this, and I guess it entices creativity a little bit. So here, this one is a nut butter spiced agave and seasonal fruit. Yum. This is a beautiful one, perfect for I really want to do a spring tea time sort of thing. And this looks very spring-like. This is a cream cheese, cucumber, radish, and super seed bread. This one's spiced avocado. So lots of cool stuff. And all of that is right here in the ingredients. You'll see everything is listed out pretty clearly, like most cookbooks. And it is in US measurements, by the way. It's not in metric. So just so you're aware, let's move on to our other stuff. We have a smashed chipotle beans and avocado quesadilla. So I like that we have a ton of different options here. My family's Indian English breakfast. Okay, I'm down. I'm so excited. I had like a smoothie earlier and I'm already so hungry. So I do love, personally, I love big table settings. I love hosting and having, a lot of people over. So this inspires me to be able to share those experiences with other people. And sometimes I think plant-based cookbooks haven't done the best job with that. So I appreciate this a lot. Here we have a Mexican lasagna. Look at that. Yum. We'll move on. I'll be a little quicker. Mama's rich and creamy 3-bean red pepper curry. That looks really good. Perfect for fall. Super warming. There are little notes at the bottom for some of these recipes, by the way. So definitely read through. I also enjoy like reading the blurbs here. Sometimes it's about our author. Sometimes it's about what you can pair every dish with or different flavor profiles. So read through it. They're really short, which is something I appreciate. Here we have another wonderful table setting. Unfortunately, here's the only qualm I have with this. There's no page numbers. So if you're like, where's the Bang Bang Tofu? You kind of have to look through. Bang Bang Tofu's right there. It's not too hard, I guess. But if I were being like, if I had a foggy brain, I might have a problem. I don't know. Anyway, we have cheesy bread 2 ways. So clearly this is not just, let me triple check this. This is still vegan. It talks about vegan cream cheese or vegan ricotta, but you could probably replace this with regular cheese if you were a vegetarian. So you can mix and match, do whatever you want. This just encourages us to eat a little more vegan, which is cool. Here we have a lot of good stuff. These look like different kinds of pizzas, gorgeously green. We have a spicy pineapple supreme. Oh boy. Tandoori jackfruit. Lots of good options. All right, here's some more dishes. Golden caramelized fennel with creamy cilantro sauce. Super pretty. And then I'll move on to maybe 2 more dishes. I haven't seen any desserts, by the way. I think this is all just savory dishes, all mixed in together. Here we have a beet, pine nut, and feta dip. Oh no, they look beautiful. And I would totally serve each of these, and they look really easy to do. And here's another one, chutney 3 ways. You can make your own. And yeah, I'm not seeing any desserts here, but no, I lied. We have a beet carrot halva. We also have seasonal fruit salad, which is something I really love during summertime, and oatmeal raisin cookies. Those actually look really good. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here. It's fun. It's joyful. I love it. So check this out. It's a great cookbook. I highly recommend it. And it's almost 50% off today. So 43% off. 2003, a really good deal for a really awesome cookbook, especially if you are trying to go plant-based. All right, so the next one I want to share with you is a gluten-free cookbook. This one is more advanced. I'm just warning you ahead of time in case you're like, wow, I can't believe it. I've made cakes from this cookbook, and it was like, some cakes are easy, but some of them they're a lot, like hours and hours. So this is Quenelle et Vanille. I'm sure I said that incorrectly. Bake Simple. This is by Aran Goyaga. It's really good. I love her recipes, but like I said, it's definitely like a weekend, whenever your weekend is, kind of cookbook. I haven't tried everything in here, of course. So we have different staples, the smell of making bread. Moving on, there's For the Love of Cake, pies, tarts, and then there's like holiday baking too, which is really helpful. So that's something that I like, and more people I know are becoming or have like celiac or have a gluten intolerance. So a lot of us can't enjoy a lot of the traditional holiday bakes, and it's really a bummer, I have to say. So I love that we can actually make it ourselves. So let me break this down for you. We have all of our basics in the front. So that includes like a Swiss meringue cream, lemon curds, We have different frangipans. Here we go. Buttercreams. So here's all of the ingredients, and the directions are right there as well. Everything is in US measurements and metric measurements, by the way. We get a small tidbit of each dish, like what that means, kind of what you can use it for, substitutes. And there's even on the side different flavors that you can add. So very quick and easy varieties. So you can do vanilla bean, honey, lemon, or chocolate for this. And you could probably do anything you want, actually, if you wanted to just experiment. So let's look at these. The bread in here looks phenomenal. So this is a sandwich loaf. I haven't made any of the breads in this cookbook. I have to be honest, but I really, really want to. I have another thing too. So if you do a lot of baking, gluten-free baking, you want to make sure to use the ingredients here. So there's a lot of separate flours. So what I mean is that she has a flaxseed meal. There's a tapioca starch, sorghum flour. So she uses a variety of different flours and presents that to you. So if you want to start cooking out of this cookbook, I highly recommend getting a assortment of different gluten-free flours that you can experiment with. But it's a really cool cookbook to get started. And there's a lot of great dishes in here. This looks really dense, but here we go. We have a fig and caramelized onion bread soda, or soda bread. So this one's 39% off, $24.49. By the way, really good price. If you are gluten-free at all, you probably do miss, because I miss, English muffins, especially sourdough English muffins. And I cannot wait to make my own. I really should make an effort to do that this year because it looks really easy. Here's a big loaf of bread you can use. Sorry, I think my cats are really enjoying the sunshine today. It's a really nice day in the Pacific Northwest. All right, so here's a few of the recipes I have made. So these are a bunch of cakes. This one is actually quite easy to put together. But like I said, you want to start with this cookbook having an assortment of flours, so you're not like, oh crap, I have to go to the store and get sorghum flour now. Oh no, I got to get potato starch. So lots of different flours that you use in here. It's one of those that you have to kind of plan for. Here we have a date sweetened banana bread with chocolate and walnuts. Looks really good. Blueberry crumb coffee cake. I don't know how they've been able to do that, but that's beautiful. I've made this cake too. It is the chocolate sourdough cake with chocolate glaze. This is what it looks like. Really easy and very tasty. Perfect for chocolate lovers. This is the one that my husband actually made for me, and I want to make it again because it's a lot and we can do it better, I think. This is the lemon curd and honey celebration cake. It still sounds so good. And I love that there's 4 tiers in here. And it's just so awesome. Usually with celebration cakes, they're always like a vanilla funfetti flavor. I wanted something a little different. The pies in this cookbook are phenomenal. And they're very, very easy to whip together if you have a food processor. So that's something I want to note. Food processor is a lifesaver because then you can mix everything all together super quick. Here we have a plum chocolate frangipan galette. Still need to make a galette, but that looks beautiful. The different slices here. We have different pastry doughs you can make throughout this cookbook. Let's look at some other dishes. We have a cheddar and herbs scone recipe, all gluten-free. Look at that. That's a spring dish right here. Beautiful. I would love to make that. That's a zucchini, fennel, and pea tart with eggless aioli. So there are some vegan recipes in here too, but it is mostly gluten-free. Crispy potato, leek, and kale focaccia pie. We also have a pistachio and rose water sandies, which I have made, and it was very good. It wasn't too floury, so it didn't taste like soap. It was really delicate, beautiful. Holiday baking, I'll go through this pretty fast. So this is really nice, again, because a lot of people who have the celiac or gluten intolerance, it's hard because it's like holidays are one of the best times, and there's so much gluten in everything. So this makes it more inclusive. We have buttery shortbread. It looks awesome. These hot cross buns are awesome too. You couldn't tell the difference. Cranberry Linzer tort. And then I'll do one more here, something maybe springy. This isn't springy, but it's a spiced sweet potato cake with cream cheese frosting, an alternative to like, Thanksgiving pies. You can do like a cake. So this is a really good baking cookbook for gluten-free. But I just have to warn you, it is a little more complicated. I have some easier gluten-free baking books, but this one is phenomenal. Once you get the hang of gluten-free baking, I do recommend this one because it's just everything turns out really perfect. So this is Cannelle et Vanille, Bakes Simple. Highly recommend. All right, the next one I want to share with you today, it's an older one, but that's okay. Who doesn't love Alton Brown? I love Alton Brown. So this is Every Day. And I actually haven't read this one yet. I read the most previous cookbook he released, I think about a year ago. I also have to have a sip of coffee. I apologize. But if you look at the price right now, it is 45% off. So $19.19. It's a decent sized cookbook. And, if you know Alton, it's going to be filled with awesome information, like stuff that you can take with you for multiple recipes. So let's look through this together. Little baby Alton. Okay, so here we go. Actually, I don't think it's baby Alton in there. I apologize, Alton Brown. This is from 2016. But Alton Brown has like some of the best stuff. I love watching his cooking shows still today, like from way back in the day, just because there's just so much science. Here we have morning, coffee break, noon, afternoon, evening, anytime and later. He's like a hobbit. I love it. Here we go. Let's move on. So, holy cow. Here's a list of ingredients. Here's what it actually looks like. I just had an instance with my significant other the other day. We were looking for fennel seeds and he was struggling. And he's like, we don't have any. And I was like, oh, we do. So yes, I love the visuals because that would have helped him be able to find and locate because I have a ton of different spices in different bags. So I like the photos and I like the information just in the very beginning of all of the fundamentals. So here's our breakfast or our morning dishes. Everything has page numbers, clear titles, always perfect oatmeal. Okay, so confession, I made oatmeal for like the worst way possible for almost all of my life until probably 2 years ago. It's embarrassing, actually. So now I know how to make the perfect oatmeal. And I love that we get that with Alton, and he includes quinoa in his as well. So very interesting textures here. So if you're not a fan of oatmeal, it might be different. Here we have little brown biscuits. Look at those. Cute. You can have biscuits and gravy if you wanted to. So yummy. I don't know what a Mr. Crunchy is, but apparently it's this, and it looks delicious. Here we have our measurements. All of them are in US, by the way. How much it feeds, and just a small description of what this is. So Mr. Crunchy. We also have directions. And we have additional notes as well. So if it's something a little new, so this talks about the bechamel sauce, it breaks it down just a little bit further so you can understand, I guess, the innards, the inner science behind all of these things, like bechamel sauce. Here we have scrambled eggs version 3.0. In this one, he actually includes special equipment. Here's our instructions and additional notes. You would think scrambled eggs would be so easy, but Alton, of course, had to make it very complicated, but it's good information so you know how to make literally the perfect scrambled eggs. There is a way to do it. So yeah, here we have making your own cold brew coffee. That's pretty cool. You can save a lot of money. Here we have an apple spiced bundt cake with rum glaze. Oh man, easy breakfast, brunch idea if you're serving like a bunch of people. Here, let's move on. We have my big fat Greek chicken salad. That's a really good idea. Easy lunch option. If you do work in an office, you can take that with you. Here we have a Beale Street cheeseburger. Oh no, I don't know what Beale is. Apparently it's in Memphis. So now I know. This sounds good. All right, let's move on to our different We have fish sticks and custard. I don't know how I feel about that combination of words, fish sticks and custard. Why not aioli? We have an lasagna or lasagna. God. This is why I like Alton Brown, because he's silly. So perfect enchilada lasagna. We have a green grape cobbler. That's interesting. I'm seeing a lot more grape lately, so it's probably because I'm seeing it more, that every time I see a grape recipe, I'm like, oh, I gotta try it. So I never thought about grapes as a cobbler fruit before. Kick in the pants smoothie. Ooh, I like this. We also have here a savory Greek yogurt dip. This cookbook is wild. Kimchi crab cakes. I would totally be all over these. That would be an awesome snack. One pot chicken. I love how visual this cookbook is. Every recipe seems to have a photo. Mushroom stroganoff. And this looks really good, like not too heavy. I don't know. There's something really bright about that one. We also have a grilled squid salad. Let me look at some of the desserts and we'll move on to our next recipe book. We have a watermelon Campari sorbet. Fresh, awesome summertime dessert. A chocolate chess pie. And one more here. Oh, I see more things that aren't desserts, but they look yummy. We have midnight mug cake. Has anybody here actually made a mug cake? Like, I've panic made a mug cake because I was like, I just want a slice of cake. Has anybody else done that? Like, just made a dessert in a mug because they're like, I need it. I need it now. That's how I've been. Anyway, here's Alton Brown's Everyday Cook Perfect Cookbook. I love Alton Brown. He's hilarious. So Alton is in this entire cookbook, obviously. His voice, how he explains everything, breaks everything down. It's really fun. So I highly recommend it. All right, here's our next cookbook. So we did talk about a more complicated gluten-free cookbook, but I wanted to share with you something a little easier and one that I personally really like, something that I don't think a lot of people know about. I have used this one quite a bit. It's actually slowly falling apart because I use it so much. This is the Flourcraft Bakery and Cafe Cookbook. This is by Heather Hardcastle. It's a really good cookbook. It's by somebody who owns a tiny cafe in California, and they have some really good sweet and savory gluten-free treats. Thank you so much, Christopher Johnson, for following over on Amazon. Make sure to comment and let me know where you all are watching from and what kind of cookbooks you tend to use. All right, so Flourcraft, some of my favorite. Here we start, and it starts really easy. Again, just a forewarning, in my opinion, and I am very biased, I think most really decent gluten-free cookbooks have or require you to have a ton of different flours at your disposal at all times. So I do actually have the Baking 1-to-1 gluten-free flour on hand as well, but you should see my cabinet. It's ridiculous. I have I think probably 10 at least different flours and duplicates of them all over the place. So, but it is helpful because the texture changes. The weights of the flour are very different and how it interacts with each other. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. There is a science to it. So yeah. Anyway, so just a forewarning, most of these gluten-free cookbooks require a ton of flour at your disposal. So let's move on and I'll share with you the recipes in here. I've cooked a lot of these and they've all turned out really good. Like the texture is great. People didn't even notice they were gluten-free. A lot of the times I'm like, here, try this dessert, and they don't even know. So it's fine. Here we have a raspberry and almond scone. Delicious, easy, perfect breakfast item. So this cookbook too also includes quite a bit of vegan bakes, which is really nice. And I have cooked both gluten-free and vegan in this, and they all turn out great. Here we have a cacao nib and walnut coffee cake on this side. And then on this side, it's a vegan lemon poppy seed muffin. I have been dying to make these, actually. I should make them anyway. I should make them now. Here we have a luscious iced cinnamon roll recipe. I'm not going to lie, I haven't made this one quite yet, and I should, but I tend to go to the loopy whisk for my cinnamon rolls. We have a vegan baked donut, so you can get one of those little baking, I think, donut vessels to make it easier. Sourdough waffles. So you can have savory waffles, which has become my new favorite thing lately. This is really, really tasty. I'm not a big sweet fan for breakfast. Savory scones with roasted pears, blue cheese, and toasted walnuts. A really good option as well. Hello, Christopher. Thank you so much for the compliment. And I'm awesome. Philadelphia. Very cool. Is it warm over there right now? I'm in Seattle, so it's just starting to be like sunny today. It's kind of sad. We've been a little sad over here. Where's our sunshine? Okay, so the next recipe I'm actually going to make soon is these lemon bars, lemony lemon bars. They're very, very good. And they stick together really well too, and they don't fall apart. That's something that I always test. I have like a few test recipes that I kind of go to with all my gluten-free stuff, and the bars is one of them. One of my favorite recipes in this cookbook is actually, let me find it, the pumpkin bars, pumpkin cheesecake bars, which I can't find, of course. Here they are. These are really, really good, and they're super fast to put together. In fact, I like these a lot during Thanksgiving over like a pumpkin pie. Yes. Is it? Okay, good. I'm glad it's nice over there, Christopher. Yeah, we are missing the sunshine. Not the heat, I guess, but it's almost Memorial Day, and it really should be warmer than this. I'm kind of concerned. I'm like, where's the 80-degree or even 75-degree weather? Because that over here would be like really warm. Okay, so moving on, we have some cakes in here. I've made almost every single one of the cakes in this cookbook. Very, very good. And also the multi-layer cakes. One of the cakes that I have made numerous times, this is chocolate orange layer cake. Really excellent cake. Super simple to put together. And it's, I think, a pretty great cake for birthdays because it is really fast to whip up. All right, and moving on to a few other things in this cookbook that I haven't checked out, like these breads. Some of these I've pulled inspiration from, like the toppings, but it's really, again, super easy. You can make your own savory breads, focaccia, pizza. So here's an example of some of the pizza you can find. And even different brunch fare. Because remember, this is a place in California, an actual cafe. So they're sharing with us some of their really awesome recipes, like salads too. This is a fantastic cookbook. I can't recommend it enough. It is Flourcraft. It's really, really good. And I just think it needs more love. People, I think, missed it. And this came out like 4 years ago, maybe 3. So definitely check it out. All right. Let's move on. Yeah, I hope it will be nice and hot soon, actually, because it's a little sad. We had like 2 weeks, I think, in March where it was starting to get really warm, and I was like, oh man, this summer is gonna be the summer. We can go paddleboarding all the time, and then it just ended up being so cold. It's been like 50. And it's just like, oh, it's dreary and cold. Like, I feel like I still have to have my heater on. It's really depressing, but yes, it'll be soon. Okay, the next cookbook. Oh, I have quite a few, actually. I'm going slow. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I have a vegan roasting pan cookbook. This technically isn't like on the sale list on Amazon right now, but it is on sale. It's 57% off, $9.89 for this cookbook. This is really, really good. It's very, very there's a lot of photos in this cookbook. So I'll flip through this real fast. It's colorful. I think almost every recipe in here has a photo. So if you are trying to go vegan, or if you are a vegan and you want to just increase your repertoire, or if you just want to incorporate more vegetables into your daily life, this cookbook's it. I am not a huge fan of like raw vegetables. Like there are a few salads that I will go ham for, but a lot of the times I prefer cooked vegetables. I don't know if that's just me or if you also feel the same way. So I like these options because there's so many different ways of cooking vegetables and roasting, and every vegetable is different, right? So here we have a roasted cauliflower taco, classic. This is actually very good. Moving on, we have a hot ALT sandwich, so avocado, lettuce, tomato, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. Eggplant, tomatoes, gem lettuce, there's a lot of good stuff. Eggplant's a great idea. Roasted spring salad, so eating vegetables does not have to be boring. We used to have these kitchen sink salads. Yeah, when I was growing up, we would just use whatever vegetable was left in the fridge, and it was not it. So I love these cookbooks. We have butterbean, fennel, and tomato bake. Oh, hello, Unbox Leisure from YouTube. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm so sorry that these are pricey where you live. I apologize. Like, I understand because I've wanted to order a lot of books from the UK. And yeah, they're like $60, $70 for us sometimes. And I'm like, I love it, but I can't do it. So I understand. I'm so sorry. I hope you can enjoy the preview though. That's my hope, and get inspired. Because not all, like, trust me, I don't own all of these cookbooks. I don't have the space for it, but they are really inspirational to me, and they help me just try to like teach myself cooking a little bit more. So that's kind of why I use cookbooks. Okay, we have a roasted ratatouille, another really great vegan dish. Next, we have a spiced cavolo neuro crisps. Sorry if I said that incorrectly, but it looks good. Looks like a great snack. Here we have different pita chips with, I believe it looks like a muhammara, but I could be wrong. Oh no, it's a carrot and maple dip. I like having different options because everybody, like when you have a little party and as you know, the sun starts coming out and people start getting together, everybody's bringing hummus to the parties, right? And I have to be honest, I'm so tired of hummus. I'm excited for other dips, so I'm excited to try these out. We have roasted radishes with parsley butter. Again, I have never roasted a radish, so I think that's a great idea. Baked corn on the cob, delicious. Christopher Johnson, thank you. Yes, I hope you enjoy your weather too over in Philly. That would be, I want to go visit Philly. It's probably because I'm watching too much It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So all of that is very relevant right now. Anyway, here we have Bombay potatoes. Baked oat nests with coconut yogurt and mango. Delicious. Oh, Unbox Leisure. I just love your channel. Thank you. With color. Oh, you want cookbooks with colorful pictures. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. Can you suggest a book for plating and that's a great question. A book for plating and presentation. Oh man, I want to remember this cookbook so bad. I think it was a Chilean cookbook. I remember it was a South American cookbook in particular, but she had, not only did she have a bunch of recipes that were all Latin American or Chilean. I'm pretty sure it's Chilean. But she had a ton of chapters alongside or sub chapters that included presentation, like all of the table settings. And it was a really helpful cookbook to kind of get you to think about, like, you know, because we eat with our eyes first, and that includes like presenting your table properly. And man, it's so good. But a cookbook I just actually went through today that doesn't necessarily talk about presentation. It just has great presentation, is really colorful. It's joyful. And it is on my Amazon list right now. Let me highlight it again. So on Amazon here, at least in the US, it's 43% off. And I'll just share with you really quickly, just the table presentations for some of these dishes. Everything's really vibrant, but she has a whole bunch of different variations on all of the dishes, different sides that you can have with them as well. So it's a really beautifully done cookbook. Like, so I'm glad you asked that question. That's a really good question. And I'm going to keep that in mind. Like, the more I talk about cookbooks, like this one's a presentation kind of cookbook. But Joyful by Mrs. Shetty, who I cannot remember her husband's name for the life of me right now. Anyway, this came out a couple months ago. Beautiful, bright, colorful cookbook. It's got a lot of good stuff in here. And I really recommend it. Honestly, it's really great. And it's plant-based and it's got really cool presentation. I'll think about the other cookbook, the Chilean cookbook, and I'll try to research it after this live stream. Maybe I'll try to showcase it and be like, Unbox Leisure, here it is. Okay, so let me go into my next cookbook. So really quickly, I'm only going to do a flip through of this because you can pre-order it, and we got this from the publisher, so thank you so much. But I'm not sure what the thing is with this one, so I don't want to show everything. Fruitful is a beautiful cookbook. So this shares how you would want to cook fruits. And this includes savory and sweet dishes, by the way. So it's not just a dessert cookbook. We are all divided into different kinds of fruits, which is really interesting. So especially when you consider like stone fruit and savory dishes, that's something I haven't really thought about. Like citruses, I feel like is kind of, it's easy, right? But some of the other fruits, I'm like, savory. So just a quick flip through. It's beautifully done. It encourages us to do kind of more of a farm to table. She has worked with Sarah Johnson, has worked with a lot of different farmers. And so their stories are placed throughout this cookbook, which makes this cookbook really cool. I love the different photos in here. So she worked with Alice Waters as well. So she knows her stuff about produce. So if you are looking for a cookbook and maybe you garden, maybe you have some fruit trees or plants, and you're like, I don't know what to do with all of this stuff. Fruitful might be a really great cookbook for you. It talks about different pairings, different foods that go with specific fruits, how to grow some of these fruits, and sustainability as well. So all around, really, really great cookbook, but you have to pre-order it. It's not out right now, and I can't give you like a full, complete preview, but you can see a few photos that we did take over on our blog at cookbookdivas.com. So just keep that in mind. All right, so the next cookbook I want to share with you today is one I just received in the mail. Thank you so much, Carrie. If you're watching, it meant a lot. I was like, oh, I was so excited to see this. This is My Mexican Mesa y Listo. Beautiful flavors, family style. We actually just covered this book, not by itself, but this publisher over on our website at cookbookdivas.com. So I am really excited to actually look in detail the inside. Oh, B Bakes. Hello. These cookbooks are amazing. Your life. Oh, thank you so much for your comments. Brighten our day. It really helps. It motivates us to do these live streams. And Unbox Leisure says, I'm currently working as an executive chef. Oh, that's awesome. In a 5-star hotel. I'm chef from last 5 years and I specialize in Indian cuisine. Do you have an Instagram? So yeah, so you can find our socials down here. We are at Cookbook Divas on Instagram. So yes, definitely come and follow us. We do a lot of previews over there. So if you're wanting to see something in detail and more up close, check us out there over on YouTube, obviously, and our website and Facebook. So all of that information is right here. I think we have everything listed there. All right, so let's look inside this. I'm very excited for Jenny Martinez's book because she's so vibrant and fun. Okay, I think, like, I love all food, but I don't know. I think Central American and Latin American food might be my favorite because I always go to it. It's just some of my favorite flavors, and I don't know. I love all food, but I don't know what it is about Latin American food that makes me so happy, but it does. We have breakfast and lunch. a great introduction. We have tamales. Yes. Tacos, taquitos, appetizers, chicken, fish, etc. This is really great because everything has all of our recipes listed out plus the page numbers. So if you're looking for something specific, you can tag it and get to it really quick. That's how I function when I go through cookbooks. This lady knows me. She must, because this is another thing I do is I like to look at the beginning of each chapter. So if I'm like, I'm feeling breakfast, but I don't really know what I want, I'll read through and be like, oh, that sounds great. What page is it on? So she lists everything out, which is really, really handy. Okay, here we go. Huevos a caballo. Oh, what? Eggs on horseback? Why isn't this a thing at everywhere? This looks delicious. I love the layout of this book already. The soft colors here really makes the food pop. So here we have everything is in US measurements, by the way. Ingredients up there, small little description of the dish, maybe how to serve it, some substitutes. And then here we have a list of directions. So pretty simple, straightforward. I think almost every recipe has a photo, which is really handy as well. Love that. I'm a visual person, so I kind of need it. Sopita de fideo. This is a soup that I make all the time, and I need to make her version. So this looks amazing. Oh, Christopher, thank you very, very much. So here it is fideo soup. So this is kind of like, it's not quite a chicken noodle and it's not quite a tomato soup, but it's really good. It's very wholesome and delicious. So excited. We have here too. So some of the recipes have a cook's notes, which is very nice. It says Mexican green onions are more mature scallions. Top bowl. Mesquite? I can't remember. Oh, it's the corn, but it's all in a glass. That's kind of nice. So it's not a huge mess. We have spicy habanero guacamole. Delicious. Mexican bolillos. What? This looks delicious too. I don't think I've had this before, but it looks beautiful. Okay, moving on. We have our tacos and our quesadillas. Quesadilla tacos, delicious. My favorite. Everybody's starting to catch on to the quesadilla tacos. Tacos de camarón, Baja style, delicious. Let's see we've got taquitos. Let me see if I can find some photos of the taquitos. Taquitos, oh, those aren't taquitos, but yes, delicious. I don't know why can't I remember the name of these? Tamales. Oh, here's what's happening to my brain. Tamales. I would love to make tamales, but I've heard from some of my friends' mothers, they're like, it takes a whole team and it takes all day. It's almost like a line. Why can't I remember? Now I'm losing my brain. It takes a whole line of people and you all have different roles and you all do your tamale thing. So I want to do it one day, but it requires, multiple people and it'll be all day. Here we have our chicken, fish, and vegetarian options here. Habanero chicken wings. That looks amazing. Perfect for summertime. Next, ooh, what is this? Mole rojo, pollo estilo. I can't pronounce anything right now. Red mole chicken. Here we go. That looks bright, vibrant. Oh boy. So Unbox Leisure over on YouTube asks for a healthy salad cookbook. So Salad Freaks or Salad Freak is a really good one. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. Tons and tons of salad recipes that are really cool, like using all kinds of different produce. And I guess the colors are super different too. I don't know. It's got a lot of diverse, awesome recipes. I highly recommend that one. We have a grilled salmon with mango salsa. This looks amazing too. Let me move a little faster. I'm going too slow. I'm sorry, y'all. I have so many cookbooks. But if you are wanting to see some of the cookbooks and you're over on our Amazon Live channel, you can view us over on our YouTube channel. If there's one that you're really, really excited about and I don't get to it, I apologize, but you can find it over on our YouTube channel. I'm going to be filming all day today, so it'll be there soon in the next couple weeks. So yes, make sure to subscribe. We have Barilla de Rey, arroz rojo, some Mexican red rice, classic. Yum, homemade tortillas. What is the best meal I have tried? That's a really good, God, you guys have really good questions today. You're making me think a lot. I'm trying to pull, like, we've been doing this channel for 3 years now. At least I have. So I'm trying to think of all the cookbooks I've cooked out of, some of my favorite dishes. So I have to say, let me make sure I can remember this cookbook. It's an Indian cookbook. And I've been searching for the best butter chicken recipe because I just feel like I need to know how to make that at home and not get takeout all the time. And this cookbook, I feel like it's like Asha's. So it's always available at the library. That's why I haven't actually bought it yet, but I really actually need to. It had the best butter chicken recipe. It had everything like the fenugreek leaf, like all of the things that I feel like make butter chicken. And it wasn't weird. It wasn't watery. It wasn't overly tomatoey. It had a lot of flavor, and it was the best one that I've had, I think. And that's the most notable one because I always go and grab it at the library, but I know, and every time I get it at the library, I'm thinking to myself, why don't you just buy it? Just buy it. But I feel like it's Asha's Indian cookbook, or Ashia. It's something like that. It's not Amu. I know that's another really big Indian cookbook that came out a couple years ago. I'll have to find that one too. But that was a really good question. Thank you for asking. Now I have to think about these things as I live stream. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked. This is a really good cookbook. It is 31% off today. So it's $22.49. Really, really good, vibrant, fun, playful cookbook with lots of great Mexican food by Jenny Martinez. Check out her socials as well. She's got a lot of good stuff on there. All right, so the next cookbook I wanted to share with you today, if you have an Instapot, my hand is so cold. It is No Shop Instapot. This one's actually on sale right now. So I have an Instapot, and I'm going to go back to school soon, so I need to find easy meals, one pot meals, things that are easier to clean. I don't use my Instapot enough. Like, it is probably the best tool ever. Instapot, pressure cooker, slow cooker, all of those things, air fryer. So I'm excited to do the No Shop Instapot because it's a cookbook that utilizes ingredients that are probably in your house right now, at least for most American households. So here we go. Here's our table of contents. See, this isn't necessarily true for me because I'm an ingredient household. It's such a problem. It's so annoying. I have friends who come over and they're like, I want snacks. And I'm like, oh no, not in an ingredient household. You can't have snacks because I don't ever buy them. Anyway, so I got to start doing that. Here we start with chuck roast. I like how they've broken this up. It's very visual, really fun. This is 50% off, $11.40 right now. Here we have mac and cheese. You can do this in your Instapot, which is really nice. And I have made pasta in my Instapot, and it actually works. It shocked me. So check it out. Risotto, you can do in your Instapot. Spaghetti squash, another really good idea. I really interesting way of laying all of this out as far as like the photos go. It doesn't give you, this is all very loose. So here it says chicken teriyaki. Here are the ingredients you can use: shrimp pad thai, turkey burger boat. But then here on the next page, it breaks everything down and gives you all the ingredients and measurements. This is all in US measurements, but there are some metric. So if you have a scale, that's really helpful. We have chicken noodle soup, but you can do it with different kinds: lemon, dill, creamy, classic. So I love the variations on this. Really cool. So maybe you don't have like the classic beef stew ingredients. You might have the Mexican version of beef stew. Moving forward, let's see. We've got chicken and rice, something super, super easy. Pizza pasta casserole. Interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about the olives, but I'm like green olives. I think I'd be all over. Enchiladas, different kinds too. It doesn't have to be the verde. We can do like a mushroom taco version, carnitas, creamy chicken. Very, very good. Easy mini muffins in your slow cook or your Instapot. That's crazy. I haven't done any baking yet, but that would be a really fun experiment. Mini egg frittatas. That's really cool. Croissant French toast casserole in your Instapot. I don't know why I keep thinking it's not an Instapot. Unbox Leisure says, I love Joshua Weissman. I do too, actually. He's a lot of fun. I know there was some controversy with him a little bit, but I love him. He's an adorable nerd, so it's great. And he has a lot of fun cooking. He's got a really great YouTube channel. We have a different meatball recipes here, different ingredients you can use, and all with your pressure cooker. Chicken wings, another really good one. And again, this is 50% off. So if you're just somebody, honestly, these one pot dishes are really, really helpful. You can make a lot of cool stuff with it and ingredients you already have on hand. You could do a potato salad, cornbread, another really good one. And I'll do one last one. Ooh, cheesecake bites. That's really yummy. Good idea. All right, so this is the No Shop Instapot. They want you to use this cookbook in hopes that you have ingredients already on hand to do some of these. But this is just really, really handy, and everything is really easy and approachable. Honestly, you just throw everything in the pot and let it do its thing. So check it out. All right, next up we have Cooking for Two. This one's really nice. I know a lot of single parents. I know roommates. I know a ton of dinks as well. So double income, no kids. So there's a ton of reasons why you might want to be cooking just for two. Sometimes it's overwhelming to get a cookbook where it's serving 6 and you're like, but I don't want to eat the same thing for days on end. This is also handy if you're by yourself too, so that you only have a couple days of leftovers. So this is huge. This is by America's Test Kitchen. So it's bound to be good. It's very visual. So there's step-by-step photos in here. There's a ton of different recipes. It's very multicultural, which is really, really nice and handy. And not just that, they kind of present a lot of dishes that are, not only are they approachable, but they all sort of talk about a fundamental, and then you can build on that. So they might have a few frying techniques in here, different kinds of pastas with different kinds of sauces, and how you approach making sauces. Not just that, it talks about jarring, pickling, how to utilize your freezer. That's another one that's really good. Storage overnight, how to reduce food waste. All of these things are really, really important these days, right? So here we have, our table of contents. Where did it go? I guess we don't get one. Let me check. Sorry. Delay. This is the 10th anniversary edition, by the way. So this is just it has more recipes included. You can see there's a ton of chapters, 17 chapters, and it goes from like soups, curries, burgers. Then we go to different kinds of meats, plant-based, pastas, grilling, slow cookers and air fryers, vegetables, rice, eggs, quick breads, fruits, desserts, pies, cakes. So lots of stuff in this cookbook. It's very, very cool. So let's move to the dishes themselves. So it does have a lot of the basics, like how to cut different vegetables, how to, make certain sauces. Here is how the recipes are laid out, though. We have an escarole sausage and orzo soup, the total time, how many it serves, so 2. It says why this recipe works. For quick yet satisfying weeknight meals, we combine tender bites of sausage, delicate pasta, and hearty greens for a warming Italian-inspired soup. So it kind of gives you a little bit of like the background for the soup. It also tells you additional things you can do for the soup or sides. Here we also have a list of ingredients and directions. Hello, Cookbook Divas over on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in today. Here, I am Cookbook Divas, but thank you, Carrie, for moderating for me. I appreciate it. We have butternut squash soup with blue cheese and pepitas. That's a really good idea. That elevates just a regular butternut squash soup. Just add some blue cheese to it. Yum. Here we have, you can see some step-by-step photos. So they do provide that for you for some of the more complicated cooks. So let's move on to some other dishes here. This is an enormous cookbook, by the way. So I'm like, my arms. Here we have weeknight roast chicken. Here's how you can break the chicken down yourself. And there's a ton of different chicken recipes you can use. We have Gai Pad Krapao. I said that wrong. A Thai dish, and it's very good. We also have lemon herb couscous with chicken and dried cherries. Chicken and chorizo paella. We have a chicken and orzo with spinach and feta. Lots of good dishes here. So you can see you can use these ingredients for numerous applications. This is why I like America's Test Kitchen a lot, because it really helps, all levels of cooking. It's really nice. Unbox Leisure is asking, which countries have I traveled to and which cuisine is my favorite? Oh, man. So I've been to Japan. I have been to Mexico. I've been to the Caribbean, which is in another country, but it's to us in the Pacific Northwest, very different. I've been to France and London. Let's see. And my favorite cuisine, from the places that I traveled to, man, that's tough. That's a really tough question. I have to say, I think Mexican cuisine was my favorite. We went to a lot of different places and went to a couple of different archaeological sites, and they had food at the end from people that actually lived there, not just like resort food. And it was really good. Really awesome food. I was mighty impressed. So I think Mexican, I don't think it can top it. They had so many awesome sauces. Oh, moles especially, so good. Okay, classic pork ragu. Let's move on to some grilling stuff, because grilling is kind of what a lot of us are going to be doing pretty soon. We have how to break this down. This is really nice for kebabs. I know when I first started doing kebabs, I was very lost with the onions. I either did it too big, or as they got smaller, I lost a lot of onion. We have a grilled bone-in chicken breast with cherry tomatoes, grilled smoky spice rub steaks, different sides you can have with these. With a cookbook like this, I don't mind that we don't have a ton of photos, but we have a lot of recipes that are very easy. If you can see, they could probably fit 2 recipes on one page. I think that's a really cool thing. Grilled zucchinis and eggplants, so not just grilling meat. Grilled tofu even. So really good stuff. And let's look at some dishes that are dessert oriented, or I don't know. Oh, the desserts are more towards the back, I believe. Sorry, let's get there. We have a summer berry snack cake. And we also have something here, grilled lemon bundt cake. We have chocolate bundt cake as well. what does a bundt cake pan look like and how to actually prepare a bundt cake pan. Lots of good stuff in this cookbook. It is the 10th anniversary edition. I highly recommend it. It's a hefty cookbook, lots of information. I doubt you're going to need any other cookbook, honestly, just because there's so much in here and it's just, yeah, lots of information. So this is the complete cooking for America's Test Kitchen. Oh, I love Clover. I'm so glad you get to hang out with Clover. I love her. I don't know why. She's so sassy and mean. Okay, I'm going to go through one more cookbook, and then we are going to be done for the day. So first or last, let me tell you about this gluten-free cookbook. This one's awesome. I personally love it. It is baked to perfection. If you need a gluten-free cookbook, this is the one. This breaks everything down to a science. So Katerina Sermelj is actually a scientist. I think she's a chemist, biochemist. Anyway, she tells us why some of these things work and what doesn't work in a sciencey way, even the molecular structure. So I love this. There's a lot in here, and I highly recommend reading the beginning because there's so much about each flour, each fat, each ingredient, each cooking tool that's really essential. She has charts even. I need to find it. I just saw it. Which labels all the different flours, their protein, their water absorption, their assignment. So you can't just replace one flour for the other and be like, it's all gluten-free, it's fine. That's not how it works. There's a lot of science behind it to make a really good gluten-free dessert, especially, or a baked good. So let me show you what she's made. These are all gluten-free. Some of them are vegan, but mostly just gluten-free. Definitely love the different charts here. I'm really big in the science, so I appreciate this quite a bit. She talks about a lot of the different basic recipes you can find with the different flavors here. Vanilla cupcakes. We have lemon poppy seed cupcakes with the custard filling. These cooks are really, really awesome. And something I literally just learned because I was reading through this because we're going to do a potential sort of like lesson you can grab. With this cookbook, you don't want to have the convection fan on. And I have been the whole time, which is horrible. You don't want that on. So that was something that was interesting. It dries gluten-free baked goods out. So I was like, well, no wonder I'm struggling here sometimes with this cookbook. So I'm going to try this and not put my fan on. So that's a really important tidbit. So definitely read through the cookbook. Unlike what I did, I'm telling you to do what I literally didn't do. You can make your own puff pastry, which is crazy cool. You can make your own short crust. She has a lot of unique stuff in here that is really great. So if you are a gluten-free baker, this is essential to have in your arsenal for your baking needs for sure. I mean, the bread looks phenomenal. And it is. I've made quite a bit. I have made her breads, and I was so happy. The happiest person ever. Because I miss bread. I miss donuts. They're so good. So check this one out. Highly recommend it. 28% off. It's a really hefty cookbook too. $21.49. It's a steal. And it's award-winning. There's a reason why this cookbook is award-winning because it just breaks everything down in such a way that we can all, I guess, digest it. And it makes fantastic bakes. So baked to perfection. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And make sure if you do enjoy cookbooks to give us a follow. We do go through these in more detail over on our YouTube channel, Instagram. You can find that here at Cookbook Divas. We are just at Cookbook Divas on everywhere, and TikTok even. We have TikTok. Make sure to follow us here on Amazon and on YouTube as well. We'd love to see you around. Thank you all for chatting with me today. That meant so much. I'm glad that you guys were brave enough to chat with me. Have a fantastic day. I hope it's nice like it is over here in the Pacific Northwest. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you in the next live stream. Thanks again.